of thing? Or?
Yeah, you'll know it when you see it. I'm working on it right now, so it's coming along nicely. It will be the next wave, so
Sweet.
but none of that's new information. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how are you going to separate it? Because I feel like the alternate heads to the vintage heads kind of had that feel to them in a way.
Yeah.
Like, so how do you make them different enough to where it's like, okay, I still want to get those versus the turtles I already have?
My thought would be to like really stylize them and try and make it feel like that cartoon come to life.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
So is it cartoon or toy based? So I think you'd have to lean into the tune more, right?
Yeah, cartoon. Yeah, because the toy ones like were cool and I had them, but like they also were like weird. Like some of them were like weirdly off model. Like they were like close.
Yeah.
You know, like the turtles specifically, they like made their like heads like way more football shaped in the toy versus like they're very like round and like stocky in the cartoon and stuff. Yeah. So there's been a lot of like comparison and decision making going on around that. So
and then Jace asks, is the 2003 TMNT an ongoing line or just a few cameos, Turtle Shredder and done?
Not 100% sure. I think the plan right now is the core team plus a couple bad guys. But what I will say, just like anything else in this beautiful system we call capitalism, vote with your dollar. If you want more 2003 stuff, buy as much of it as you can.
Yeah.
So,
for me, I love that style Casey. So
me too.
Casey's got
it. It's more or less like just the Mirage Casey, but with like jogger pants on.
Well, so. I always thought he had kind of a bit of an Elias Koteas kind of vibe as well. Like there's a bit of that to him too that I like.
Yeah, I don't know who does the voice for that Casey, but that's the Casey I hear in my head because he's got the very like, "Hey, I'm walking here, Casey Jones, come to meet you," like that kind of talk.
Yeah.
So it was like super New York. I was like,
all right, which is that to me makes sense. The tune one was like it was Clint Eastwood, right? They were doing a bad Clint Eastwood impression. The tune one,
yeah. It's like bad dirtbag. You're like, okay.
And then Hun. I mean, Hun was huge. In the vintage, or I guess that's vintage, but
Hun, the Detolf breaker, just 8 pounds of plastic. You think Gorilla's big?
Yeah, 100%. And this, I mean, I think it's a fair question. Wolfgang Collectibles asked, like, what about 2012? Like, if 2003 is a thing, could 2012 be a thing, or is it a licensor kind of thing? Like, who knows?
It's more of a licensor kind of thing. I also think that, at least for me, with like we talked about nostalgia, the way that I see it is like the nostalgia window, moves forward slowly.
Sure.
And the people who are into, or let's say the people who like grew up on 2012 or were introduced to Turtles through 2012 don't necessarily have the expendable income to buy 2012 products lately or like at this time. So I mean, obviously there's people here, myself included, who think 2012 is awesome, but
I'd argue it's like maybe the best tune.
It's pretty great
show.
Specifically though, like 2003 has not gotten shine in a very, very long time since that original line, and that's I think you're starting to see, like, obviously there's a lot of love for 80s properties, but you're starting to see more 90s properties get their shine, and that and that the 90s also ended, and so now we're getting into the aughts, I guess they call it, the 2000s,
the aughts, right?
So I think this may be the first kind of step into that.
I hate that 2003 was 20 years ago. Like, what the hell is that about?
Me too. Not a fan.
There's just this weird thing about the year 2000, which is that still feels like now, and the 90s feels like 10 years ago, or and now it's like, no, the 2000s is 20 years ago.
Oh,
and 1990 is 35 years, whatever.
Well, when somebody says 30 years ago, I was like, oh yeah, you mean like the 70s?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, that was 60 years ago. Like, what? Shut up. That's not a thing.
Yeah. It's too much.
But anyway, a lot of people are talking about